what you need to know from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Hosted by Cochise County Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
First Watch on 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and Sheriff Mark Daniels. Good morning.
Good morning, Cochise County.
Hello, everyone.
Cochise County football continues tonight right here on KWCD.
And we got a great game tonight. We'll be in Bisbee for the pick, and they'll be taking on, of course, Douglas. The Bulldogs coming up there. Bisbee's 1-0. This will be the first game for Douglas, but this is a traditional in-county rival football game, and this is 152nd time they've met. So that's incredible, I think, in itself. But we've called these games before. It's amazing. Both these communities come out and just fill that ballpark. It's at Warren Ballpark, and so it's going to be exciting. And I couldn't even tell you right now who's got the edge on that one. I mean, Bisbee has won. Actually, they've dominated here last several years when it comes to Douglas. But something tells me Douglas has got their act together this year. So we'll see what happens tonight, but it's going to be a game. So that's at 6:30 is pregame, and then at 7 o'clock we kick it off.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So that's tonight right here on KWCD. Also in the community right now, we finally got everything finalized for our Sheriff's Charity Ride that's coming up in November.
And this is a big one because it's our 10th annual. So we have 10 charities that we're going to give each $10,000. And I got to give a shout out to you, Carol, Grady, you, Sergeant Ray McNeely, and the whole team that works like a year to get this together, to give out community money. This is community money, folks. It's not tax money, but community money, and organize it into a charity ride and give out $100,000 is pretty impressive.
Ray McNeely, I tell you, we if he ever gets rid of his law enforcement career, the man can go far in fundraising. He's just like, not the Bob Barker, but whoever. He can just raise money like crazy because he's so darn personable, and people just like want to give him money so that he can give it back to our community.
I'm surprised Les at Ace or Sean at Lawley's or Casey over at Sierra Toy or somebody hasn't said, hey, I need you to help sell cars or help sell products.
They probably have, but he's like, it's a little bit thin stretched.
No, he has done an amazing job. So, Carol, let's recognize who we're giving the money to this year.
So we have the Boys and Girls Club of Sierra Vista, Benson Shop with a Cop.
Which is, the Sheriff's Office and law enforcement, the troopers, Benson PD, all of us coming together for that one.
Cochise Family Advocacy Center, which is Lori's Place.
Peaches Pantry, which is big in the community to help kids. And Heroes Healing Heroes Outdoors, and that's a great program.
And Cochise Education Foundation, and A Tree for Christmas. She was here last week to talk about that.
No Man's, and ATV Club, we're looking for that.
Sierra Vista Dream Center for Buena High School, weight room.
And CWLJ Hospice Incorporated in Wilcox. So, again, 10 great charities, so we're excited that we can help them out.
And also, we're going to have each of those in on this show as we get closer to November. And today, there's going to be representatives from Buena High School because we're going to be giving money to their weight room. So they're going to be in here today, too.
And I was over there the other day, and they gave me a tour of it. It's fantastic what they've done over there. And we've helped them also with their with RICO funds over the years to get that weight room in there. And let me just say this we actually, part of that agreement between Brian McIntyre, the county attorney, and my office, each kid that uses that weight room, either through PE or through sports, has to sign a form that they would not do alcohol and drugs. They would not participate in that illicit activity. And there's a story I got to tell you on that. One of the athletes over at Buena several years ago said, I don't know if I can sign this. And the coach said, well, you have to. I mean, this is a commitment if you're going to be a student athlete. So he goes, I'll talk to you tomorrow. He came back the next day and said, I've made my decision. I'm going to sign it. So he chose not to do alcohol and drugs. I mean, he was so committed to his signature and his commitment. But, again, that's what that's all about. We give money to schools is to keep those kids healthy.
And I was just mentioning some of these people, Peaches Pantry here in Sierra Vista. All of these organizations are amazing in giving back to our communities. But I was in a store last week, and the guy behind me in line, I thought he was having like a breakfast party because he literally had about, I don't even know, 50 boxes of cereal, different kinds of cereals in his basket, but they were all organized, not like how I shop, but all organized in his grocery cart. And I said, man, that's some kind of breakfast appetite you have there. And he said no, that he actually, when he finds them on sale for $1.88 a box, if you get so many, he buys so many and he takes them to Peach's Pantry and he takes pictures and says, this is our contribution. And he said, plus, at this particular outlet, you get like 500 fuel points, so you get 50 cents off a gallon for gas. So it was a win-win. I just thought I would give a shout out to anybody. If you want to donate, look at some deals like that, and it's a good way to go.
This is such a giving community. There's like 70 nonprofits in the Sierra Vista Hereford area, and they do an amazing job when it comes to giving out. And Peach's Pantry, that's a program that helps feed our kids in our schools, and sometimes that's the only meal they get. So again, thanks for those that put Peach's Pantry together. Again, I'm glad we can give them $10,000 to help feed our kids.
And another way that everybody can help is by going to the charity ride. So you can get your tickets right now. They are available.
Yeah, if you go to www.cochise.az.gov/sheriff/charity ride, and there's actually a hyphen between charity and ride. But again, go to that site and you can buy your tickets there.
All right, so make sure you get your tickets. The charity ride's coming up November 5th. Make sure you mark it on your calendar as well. Today there's going to be a jail district meeting, and that is an ongoing process that's going on for the sheriff's office.
Yeah, there's a little over half a dozen meetings. This is a group of citizens that have come together. You've probably seen it in the paper. Thank you, Sierra Vista Herald. They're putting it out there very well to share that transparency and what's going on with our jail. But these citizens have come together to really learn about the jail. And last week, or 2 weeks ago, I presented there, along with Sergeant Tim Williams, on the impact of the border to the jail. I know lieutenants out of jail are going to be speaking today, and I'll be down there. But again, it's just an opportunity for these citizens who now become the voice of the community. And when it comes to the board and all of us, do we need a new jail? And I think the answer is pretty obvious. But we're going to go through a transparent educational process and make an educated opinion and voice back to the board, and then that'll go back to the citizens. So again, it's going very well. I thank those that are supporting that and those that are participating in that.
And also the public is invited to view those as well. And that information for that is on the Sheriff's Facebook page. You can find links to how you can get involved and help out with that. And also the jail is still hiring as well.
It is. We continue to hire both in our jail, both also in our deputy ranks. So again, if you're interested in law enforcement, and this is what's exciting about it, Grady, if you apply at the sheriff's office, both either a detention officer or a deputy, there's a $5,000 sign-on bonus. And we need to really hit on that. We got 12 months. In the next 12 months, if you get hired on as a detention officer or deputy, we'll give you $5,000. My current employees, and people say, well, what about your employees that have worked hard there for you? They're getting a $10,000 bonus. So the alumni at the sheriff's office, those that are currently working here, they get $10,000, both officers and deputies. So, and that's broken out over the next 2 years for them.
And so that's one of the ways that we can try to get more talent into our organization. So even starting at detention, something to keep in mind, and we always hit on this, Grady, you're doing a great job with that, is you make sure, you're 18 years old, you just graduated high school, you even have a GED, you apply, you start at
40 now, 40,000.
Yeah. $40,000 a year, and you get $5,000 sign-on bonus. What? I mean, in Cochise County, that's a pretty good deal, and it brings you into the folds of a great organization.
It does. So we'll give you $5,000. Your starting salary $40,000, and there's quite a bit of overtime down there too, plus $1,000 a year to buy equipment, clothing, whatever you need to do. It's great, and plus a salary advancement step process. For deputies, it's $51,000 starting off, plus $5,000 sign-on bonus, another $1,000 for clothing allowance throughout that year. And again, the top out there is just under $70,000. So again, if you're interested in law enforcement, and I think it's a very special agency and office to work for in a special county, because we have great law enforcement here in Cochise County with our cities, the troopers, sheriff's office, and our federal agents.
So we were talking about graduating high school and coming to work for the sheriff's office. So let's talk about you for a little bit, graduating high school, and what did you do last week?
I went to my 40th class reunion back in the Midwest. I flew out Thursday late afternoon, and it was kind of nervous. I hadn't been back there for 30 years to a class reunion, and we only had 112 in our class, so we weren't a big class, but we all knew each other very well, and then a lot of us have stayed in touch. But went back there, and really, I went back there to see everybody, talk to people, see what's going on in their lives. But really, it's an age check, folks. When you go to your 40th class reunion, who's aging better? Or who's aging worse? So it was quite interesting to see that. I came back with a smile, though. I feel all right.
Nice little vacation getaway.
It was.
Good.
It was totally great, and seeing the water the Midwest. I grew up right on the Mississippi River, born on the Iowa side, grew up on the Illinois side. But yeah, so it was nice seeing all that back there, all the green. We're green here, but that's green.
And also, there's a retirement going on, and you were telling me that you actually worked with this person as a part-time job.
Yeah, I saw an email yesterday, and I've talked to this individual. His name's Marty Tapia. Marty's a trooper with Department of Public Safety. Marty and I first met back in the mid-'80s, early 80s. And right after I got out of the military, I was working a part-time job. And I was at where Peter Piper Pizza is here in Sierra Vista, used to be TG&Y. A retail store, and Marty Tapia and I actually worked there together, and we used to flip a coin like who had to clean the bathrooms. I mean, it's funny how you remember those kind of stories. And I had a two-headed coin, so I always won. And but Marty just spent 35 plus years as a trooper here and working here in the Benson area up on I-10. Marty, I wish you well. You've been a great servant to the community. We're going to miss you, my friend, but you've got a well-earned retirement coming ahead for you, your family, and your boys. And his boy's a trooper, too. I believe his boy just graduated from the academy here recently, so keeping that tradition and succession along. But, Marty, thank you for your service to Cochise County, to DPS, and again, many smiles ahead as you enjoy your retirement.
And so before TG&Y, when you first came into this area, you were stationed at Fort Huachuca? You were in the military?
Right, and that's what brought me out here. Actually, I was, after the military, instead of going to college, I actually went in the Army. Had a 2-year enlistment, 6 months in South Carolina. I was stationed here as part of the Mayo Corps for Fort Huachuca.
And so with that being said, after your service in the military, they have an honor that they're going to bestow upon you for the Veterans Wall.
And I'm humbled. There's so many in a military community like Sierra Vista, Cochise County, Hereford area. I mean, I was selected to be on the Veterans Wall here at Canyon Vista, and I'm just humbled. I really am. I mean, there's so many qualified people that have served and continue to serve in the community. So thank you for the nomination for that, and also thank you for the selection on that one. Again, I'm very honored. So that's going to happen in November. And again, it's exciting. It really is to be recognized like that.
We had a couple of visits earlier this week, so let's start with the Congress visit.
We had a congressional visit Monday. We had congressmen from all over the country, Montana, Nebraska, Tennessee, I believe, but all over the place. And they came down to take a look at the border, and it was good. It was an eye-opener. And I will say this, and I've said this to them, when we do these congressional tours, those candidates running for office, whatever it may be, it's not photo ops. It's not about hugs. It's all about reality. This is what we're addressing, and I said this. We need Congress to step up and do their job to help us secure this border. And I said that to them, too. And some of them like when I say that. Some of them say, yeah, we agree with you, sure. Some get a little offended with it. But it's their job. It truly is. It's this administration's job. And it was a good visit. It was an eye-opener. I was told later that they saw things that they didn't realize was even going on. So I wish every member of Congress, both Senate, House, would come visit our southern borders, and not for show and tell. Don't go to areas like, no offense, El Paso, which is one of the most protected areas on the southwest border, or even San Diego. Not that they don't have challenges, they do, both cities. But go to the rural parts where you really see the transparency of impact when it comes to our communities.
And there was another meeting with the governor's office and DEMA, the Department of Military Affairs, Department of Corrections, Department of Public Safety, all tying into that very same focus on what's happening on the border in Cochise County.
It is, and we had, we had a meeting Tuesday. They flew in from, like I said, the governor's office, Department of Corrections, DEMA, which is your military works. The general came in. I mean, we had everybody there that came here to discuss border operations and funding. One thing I want to do as we come to an administration change here, come up in January, is, and with the money just passed by the lawmakers to help solidify our border security, our agencies that are working hand in hand to help secure our border, is to get that financial footprint taken into the future. So I'm trying to get that done. My team's getting done. We did some proposals to sustain some of our operations here in Cochise County, to include some more resources that we need here, and it looks really well. And to include, we're in the process, folks, of getting a border operations center put here in Cochise County, not just for Cochise County, but the whole southern Arizona border. So that's almost a reality here. We're getting close. So, again, a lot of good things going on here. And people say, well, what's the sheriff doing? Trust me, I'm so excited to put this out here in about a month that this is what we got and this is what we're doing. You've already seen all the successes we've had with it through Safe Streets, paying our overtime at jail, paying jail costs, so the taxpayers don't have to do it. Man, we want to expand on that. I mean, it's not fair for the citizens of this county to pay the impact of this border. This is a shared border both by the state, federal, and local, so we all need to do our part.
And keeping track of all of that, you can find that on the Cochise County Sheriff's Facebook page. I suggest you follow it if you haven't. And one of the things you're going to see a lot of is safe streets. So let's talk about some of the safe street stats that are going on right now.
Well, these are just these are the details that are that we do with our partners. But these are the Sheriff's Office stats from March 1st of this year to August 30th. So in a 5-month period, I believe that is, 5-month period. So we had, and I think the number's a little staggering, I really do. We had 324 identified victims of crimes due to the border. That's a lot of victims of crimes. 107 pursuits, 12 weapons seized. Now, these are weapons where they're stolen weapons or there's a reason we had to take them. We just can't take your weapons. So there's got to be some kind of investigative component to that. 1,629 migrants or undocumented that we took into custody or identified, and 595 human smuggling events that we identified just during our Safe Street operation. So these are not political stats. These are reality stats. And I keep telling people, do we have a problem here? Do we have a negative problem here? We do. But let me just say that, and I say this with confidence, we're doing some good things here to deter this behavior. Do we have our hand on it yet and got it stopped? We don't. But I'm telling you, this is not a free-for-all in Cochise County. This is something that the cartels know it, the smugglers know it. You come here. I told a lady yesterday, you're good odds that you're going to prison here in Cochise County. Good odds, because if you come down here to smuggle, you're going to prison. So.
And we're going to release more information, too, about the impact it's going to have for the new law that's coming into effect. So, people think that this is a federal thing. We get a lot of questions or comments on you're slapping them on the wrist and you're letting them go. There are consequences. They're just not immediately noted by having people booked into our jail necessarily, unless there's a state crime along with that. But with this new law, there's going to be a lot, and it carries a lot of penalty. It's a Class 2 felony. Pretty serious stuff, and it's about time.
Well, it is, and enough is enough, and I keep saying that. Well, you look at from January, and I think it's just first part of August. I mean, we're pushing almost 700 people we booked in our jail for state-related crimes that have a connection to our border. That tells me we're not turning our head. We're not. And I don't know how anybody could turn their head and take an oath of office to say we're going to support your freedoms and liberties and your quality of life, and then say, no, we're not going to mess with that. That's craziness. When you have people driving the way they drive, and part of my traffic stop of the week, you'll hear about that in a minute. But we'll continue doing this. We're not going to turn it, but I need the state's support. I need the state's messaging to be there, and I also need funding to be there, and so far that's all intact.
Earlier this week, we had an incident at a school where a student brought a gun.
Big news here, big news throughout the state and beyond. We had a 7-year-old take his mom and dad's weapons to school. Now, in the state of Arizona, 7 years old is the age we can start charging for a crime. If you're 6, we can't charge you for a crime. So 7, you become subject to being charged. In this case, he was 7, was charged. These are tough cases. This is a 7-year-old. Relate to your kids. 7-year-olds, so young. I mean, they're still playing with Legos and blocks, and they got the goofiness to them. And it just, I know teenagers like that too, but but again, put it in perspective. So the juvenile was charged. There's got to be a consequence for this, and this is where our juvenile probation officers, they'll do a very good job with this, and we're making sure that they, whether it be counseling, whatever it is going to take on that end of it. So we got the 7-year-old in that channel for hopefully success in the future. Now the big question was, what are we doing with the parents? And we have not turned our heads on that. Again, these investigations, when you have, they're very sensitive. I mean, we address the parents, we address the guardians, whatever it may be, and I'm kind of limited to what I can say right now, but I will say this. That investigation went over to the county attorney. Should have gone over yesterday.
Correct.
Was it yesterday, Carol? So that investigation went over to the county attorneys for review for possible prosecution. I mean, we're all held accountable as adults, especially when we have children and what happens in our home. So I don't know what the outcome of that's going to be. I don't. We all should be very blessed that the school did the right thing. The principal was all over that. The superintendent was all over that. See something, say something was a key factor in this, but nobody was hurt. But again, we want to send a message that if you're going to be a If you're going to take a gun to a school or some other place where it shouldn't be, we're going to address it.
All right, and before we get to your stop of the week, let's give a shout out to you're enjoying what's happening on Highway 92.
I do. And we all, which is thousands of cars go up and down Highway 92 into Hereford and South Sierra Vista. A few days ago, Granite Construction started cleaning up that road. The road's a mess, and we all know that. And so I'm thinking, oh, here we go. The next month we're going to be having a mess out here. That project's done. They did that within days. And I commend Granite. I commend ADOT that put that together. The only thing I had left to do is a couple striping areas, but they painted it last night, striped it last night. Thank you to Granite Construction for your proficiency. I know some people are probably saying, oh, this is ridiculous. Very, very nominal when you figure what they got done, all the way to Hereford Road and out in Hereford. So I just want to give a shout out to them and also shout out to the people for their patience. I was out there yesterday, just kind of monitoring traffic. I had a ride along with me, so we just sitting there watching traffic, and we had a pursuit coming out of Bisbee on smuggling. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go, because it was backed up, and the car actually went the other way. So, which was fortunate. We were really concerned about that during this construction. But thank you, everybody. If you haven't been out to South 92, take a ride out there. That highway is really nice right now.
And when you're out there, you're going to see like weeds and stuff growing around. I think that's epidemic in Cochise County, which I'm really glad about because I love the rain. But you have to mow your yards. It's really important. You have mosquitoes that are coming. You have bugs. You have snakes. You have all that kind of stuff. And I got to tell you, and one of the things is you see a lot of people who maybe don't have the means to mow their own yards, whether it's the equipment, whether it's physically they're not able to do it. If you're out there mowing your yard and you see your neighbors struggling, try to, just, poach over into their area just a little bit to give them a helping hand and see if you can get that done, because I think it's important that you keep everything knocked down like it needs to be.
Yeah, be kind. Extend that kindness to your neighbor, and I do that in my neighborhood. My buddy's retired military; he does that too, and we've done that, helping people mow their yards. And shout out to Cochise County Highway Department; they've been out there mowing these roads, and they got a lot of roads. I'll just say that. People say, "Well, why haven't they mowed?" They got a lot of roads. They just mowed. They start down south in Hereford. They're mowing Ramsey Canyon, all that area, and it looks nice. It does, and heck, we get 2-3 months of greenness. Let's take advantage of it, mow those yards and make it look nice. Because allergies, too. Mm-hmm. Everybody's talking about allergies, so I can respect that.
Well, let's give your safety message of the week before you go.
Well, it comes through my traffic stop. Let me get that traffic stop of the week here, too. And yesterday I was coming back on 92, coming into Palominas by the school, and here comes a vehicle at a high rate of speed coming at me. And I could see smoke coming. I'm like, what's wrong with this car? And it was sitting on level. And what happened was this was a smuggling vehicle, both drugs and people. Driver out of Phoenix. She had crashed coming after she picked up the illegals. She actually crashed, hit a trash can in a mesquite tree. Nobody was chasing her. That's just the way they drive, folks. We all have seen that. Kept going. She lost her front tire. So she's coming down 92 eastbound in front of Palomino School at 80 miles an hour.
With 3 tires.
With 3 tires, and one's on a rim. And nobody's chasing her. That's just how she was driving. And it's actually what we see at the end of pursuit, not the beginning of a pursuit. So I spin on her, hit the lights, hit the siren. She did not stop for me, of course. And I had no idea what happened, what's going on here. The vehicle went a while. Finally, the vehicle just couldn't go anymore. Stopped. We did a high-risk stop, the deputies and Border Patrol and I, and took her into custody. She's on release for a very serious violent crime out of Maricopa County, she told me. A lot of drugs, I'll just say that. Bad situation there. The migrants even made the comment that they kept telling her, stop, we're in fear of our life. So she's been charged for numerous felonies. She's in our jail. The car was towed by the sheriff's office. Again, just be careful out there, folks. Be really careful, because these people, it's amazing how they drive, and I call it intimate risk to our community that we're seeing every day out there. So thanks to law enforcement, state, local, and federal. Marty, good luck on your retirement again, my friend. And last but not least, it's Labor Day weekend. Don't drink and drive, folks. Don't ruin your weekend with some alcohol.
All right, and before you go, invite everybody to Cochise County football tonight.
Thanks, Grady. Thanks, Carol. And also, I'll tune in tonight at 6:30, KWCD here, 92.3, for the Bisbee-Douglas game. The 156th 152nd meeting tonight.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
It's First Watch now
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
on 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest from Buena High School. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So introduce yourself.
So my name is Cole Colvin. I'm the athletic director and assistant principal at Buena High School.
All right, and
I'm Val Weller. I'm the district public information officer.
you guys are the recipients of the Cochise County Sheriff's Charity Ride, $10,000 this year, and you guys are going to use that for your weight room.
That's correct. So, we're looking to get some new squat racks into the weight room, some new bumper plates, new benches, things of that nature to assist with our athletes and our students just in general.
And who's going to be using the weight room specifically?
So we have classes actually in there. We have a weightlifting class 6 hours a day. That's led by Coach Thomas, who's our football coach. He's also a teacher on campus. And then after hours, almost every athletic program. So we have about 20 athletic programs that go into the weight room, depending on the time that they reserve to be in the weight room to use it.
And how much of an upgrade is this going to be?
Oh, it's huge. We've been putting pieces together now for a little bit, but to add, I think that we'll be able to add about 8 new squat racks, which will allow students to be able to do major lifts such as bench press, squats, power cleans, deadlifts, things like that. Our benches are kind of falling apart, so be able to get some upgraded benches to where it's safe for the kids, and just some newer age technology.
And what sports programs do we have going on right now at Buena?
Currently we have football, swim and dive, cross country, boys and girls golf, cheerleading, and
girls volleyball.
Girls volleyball. How did I forget about that? We actually had 112 of them come out. So
wow, that's really good. So what can the community do to help support you guys?
I think the best thing is just to come out and support our kids. They've been working really hard. We've had a big off season in the summer. A lot of voluntary workouts, things like that. We had 371 kids get a practice permit this fall season, come out, make a team. Some of them made it, some of them didn't. But just come out and support. We had our first freshman-sophomore football game last night. The first swim and dive competition was yesterday at the Cove. And then next Friday we'll have a JV game on Thursday, and then our first home Friday football game.
And how can they find the schedule for all of these games?
So all of our games are online, and so you could go to svusd68.org/Buena, click on athletics, and it'll take you to all the schedules. And all of our athletic competitions, our tickets are for sale on GoFan. So just GoFan, Google GoFan, put in Buena, bring everything up. We encourage everyone to use the app and buy those tickets online, because then you don't have to wait in line at the ticket booth. And next Friday, actually, for that first home volleyball game, football, our first I'm dying here. Our first home football game, say that 3 times, is our red, white, and blue salute to the military service game. And so we're giving a special discount to all military members and their families that is available on that GoFan app. And they can buy their tickets and come out and support Buena Athletics.
Excellent. And the Sheriff Mark Daniels loves when he does the charity ride. It's veterans, it's kids, and it's animals. And so this is a really cool way to give back to the community, to the kids. So I know that the charity ride's going to be a lot of fun. And everybody can get their tickets right now for the charity ride. They are available. And you can go to www.cochise.az.gov/sheriff/charity-ride to get your tickets for the charity ride. And you'll be helping out Buena.
Yeah. Yes. And we just want to thank Sheriff Mark Daniels, because he's just such a big part. I mean, not only did he's been a coach at Buena for a long time. This year he decided, to hang it up and kind of move on with other things that he needs to focus on. But just all of what he's done for the community, not just Buena, we just would really like to thank what he's done.
Excellent. And thank you for what you do for the kids as well.
Thank you.
All right, Valerie, how can they get a hold of you at the school?
So the easiest way is to go again on that website, which is svusd68.org.
It's First Watch on KWCD Country, and it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
On on 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County, and we have David Smith. He's the Copper Queen Community Hospital Foundation president. So welcome for being here.
Well, thank you. Good morning to both of you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I've lived in Bisbee for 16 years and been active in politics and a number of board positions. And I'm honored to be the president of the foundation.
And what does the foundation do for the Copper Queen Community Hospital?
The foundation's a separate 501c3 that is there to find money through grants, etc. Grants, fundraisers. And typically for capital projects, we're buy equipment and buildings. And, presently we're getting ready down the road to build a new wing on the hospital.
A whole new wing?
Yeah, down the road it'll be operating rooms and two-story building. And if you notice, going by there, some of those old buildings have been torn out and making room for the new one when it happens.
You guys are doing expansion, so you even have new clinics in Hereford, Palominos area, right?
Right. We've been in Palominos for years, and we're now in Hereford, next to the post office.
Oh, okay.
And it's a great building, offers physical therapy and as a regular medical clinic. And then, of course, we have our Tombstone Clinic.
So what is the difference between the hospital and the clinics?
The services available. The hospital, of course, is triage and the ability to do emergency operations, and there's doctors immediately available, etc. The clinics, they have regular office hours, etc. And then, of course, we'll take emergencies, but typically the emergencies then are shipped to the hospital, depending on the circumstances.
Well, tomorrow you've got an event going on that's a fundraiser, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
It is indeed. Indeed. We have our first annual poker run, and we're really looking forward to it and keeping our fingers crossed about good weather. And we should be bringing out a lot of riders. And it's not only for motorcycles, although that's typically the people that run on poker runs, but there's a lot of people that take cars.
So you already have a lot of people signed up?
Well, no, Carol, we don't. We have several signed up, but on a poker run, you just don't get anybody until the last minute because they want to wake up and look outside and say, is it sunny? Is the wind too bad? Oh, no, let's go do the poker run.
So tomorrow morning, $25, starts at 9 o'clock, and it's on Bisbee Road, number 7 Bisbee Road. Is that the hospital?
It's right across the street from the hospital. It's the clinics.
Oh, okay. And so you show up there, you give your $25, and you have 118 miles, right, that you get to drive all the way around.
Right, beautiful Cochise County, and we've done it in such a way that we're off the main highways most of the time and off into the really pretty areas, particularly this time of the year.
But you don't need 4x4s. You can have your motorcycle in your car.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
All right, and then you come back and you have all kinds of great things planned. You have a beer garden, food trucks, music, raffle prizes, vendors.
Right.
What kind of raffle prizes do you have?
Well, money for one thing.
Yeah, that's
Always
a good one.
Yeah, yeah, and there's a number of prizes, but like massage, riders after riding for a while sometimes. That's an attractive situation, you know.
And what's the prize for the poker run?
$500 for first hand, for high hand, and $300 for second, and $100 for third.
That's going to be so much fun, and it all starts tomorrow at 9 a.m., 7 Bisbee Road. And we want to thank you, David, for coming and talking to us today and catching us up on the event.
Well, I want to thank you for the opportunity.
You'll definitely have to let us know how it went and then plan for your second one, because it takes about a year to get it going.
Absolutely.
All right.
If you want to get your tickets and find more information, you can go to their website, www.CQCH, which stands for Copper Queen Community Hospital, foundation.org. So CQCHfoundation.org. And there's a phone number as well, 432-6466. So make sure you check out the poker run, first annual tomorrow. It kicks off at Bisbee, 7 Bisbee Road at 9 a.m. And Carol, who do we have coming in next?
We have Tim Wachtel, Sierra Vista Police Department. We're going to talk all things for the holiday.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
It's First Watch now
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
on 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County. We have Sergeant Tim Wachtel. Thank you so much for being here, especially after a long night.
You're welcome, and good morning, Grady. Good morning, Carol, and good morning, Cochise County.
And you are here because we have a 3-day weekend upon us.
We do. Obviously, Labor Day is coming up on Monday, so most of us, police department doesn't have the holiday. We do work, but we do have a 3-day weekend coming up, so the Southeastern Arizona DUI Task Force will be conducting a saturation detail this Saturday, September 3rd in the service area, so from 7 o'clock until 3 in the morning. So again, just like we talk about every time I come on, just, everybody have a good time, but don't drive impaired.
And why do you like to let the public know that you're going to be out there?
Biggest thing is education. We like to get out there and educate the public. Obviously our goal is not to just keep everything quiet and go out there and try to hammer people. We want people to know that we will be out there, and by all means have a good time, but there are so many ways to get home these days. There's no excuse for driving, getting behind the wheel impaired and taking a chance.
And there is. You can, because you know what you're going to do. As you always say, you're very good about that. You know you're going to go drink, so plan ahead and get a designated driver, a Uber, a taxi, a friend.
That's correct. Whether you're going to go to one of our bars or if you're going to go to a house party, whatever the case might be, you plan ahead. You know what you're about to do. You know who you're going with. Talk to whoever you're going with, and just make sure you have a designated driver.
And I know that one stat you love to find out there is that designated driver.
And that is also, we do have a stat sheet. We do, take care of stats, but one of our stats is a designated driver, and we look forward to meeting those individuals.
Do you give them any award other than kudos? Thank you so much for helping us keep people safe.
Award, no. Do we educate them on scene? Do we thank them? Yes. A lot of the designated drivers that we run into, if we just take a minute or two and thank them for what we did, for what they did, and we walk away and everybody goes home, it's awesome. It's great. And I think that's the best thing we can do, is actually just right there in person thank them for what they're doing.
And the DUI Task Force is more than just the Sierra Vista Police Department.
Yeah, so that's correct. Obviously, the task force itself consists of Cochise County, but on this particular night, the Sierra Vista PD, the Cochise County Sheriff's Office, DPS, and Huachuca City PD will all be out enforcing the detail.
And we all want to say thank you for what you guys do for the community, and everybody get a designated driver.
Thank you, and thanks for having me in.
You bet. That's Tim Wachtel with the Sierra Vista Police Department. And Carol, how do they get a hold of us at the Sheriff's Office?
So reach out if you want to tell us the good, the bad, the indifferent. Cochise.az.gov/sheriff. Give us a call, 520-432-9500, or check out our social media. You have links to everything off of our Facebook at Cochise County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Mark J. Daniels.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
You've been listening to First Watch with the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Hosted by Cochise County Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
Join us again next Friday morning, 7 to 8 a.m.
First Watch.
What you need to know from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Only on 92.3 KWCD.